Alright, we are recording and we are in Revit. We're going to go very quickly, I think, through. I think we can get the whole bit here. Started a brand new Revit project, how to go through doing a CAD link. Remember the CAD link, so you don't have to move things back around to an AutoCAD file. Bringing in, using layers, things like the grid, things like columns, things like girders, interior and exterior, and then beams, and then changing their sizes in Revit, and then posting them back out to AutoCAD, or so that it or another program like SketchUp can use that base work to do visualization. So we started, we're going to link CAD, remember link, not import. And remember here that how quickly you can blow by this. I'm going to hit cancel because we do want to learn to do this right away, not bring into the one we have, but to duplicate the view. Go ahead and rename it. Level 1 with CAD Link. So you want to get used to making a lot of views, just like you do in most other programs. You're now in that one, and you do your link CAD, Revit path. Remember, we go origin to origin, auto. We're going ahead and place it level 1. We hit open there. It should come in. It takes a little bit of a while. When it does, you can see it out there, and you can now start. Amongst other things, right away, you could just go ahead and you can grab these and move these glyphs if you would. These are for your different views, so you can grab that there and move them to reasonable places on your plan. This plan is more or less the same as what the homework was, the exam was. It is 100 by 120. Remember, you go to make sure you got your views there, and if you're smart, you learn to kind of grab these right away and pull them out beyond where you want. So we've got 2 views set up. That's 2 levels. That's okay. You go back to your level 1 and you get used to level 1 with CAD Link. You get used to zooming in and zooming out and panning with this thing. And then you remember that really what you need to do first and foremost is to get a grid set up, so you can learn to turn off different things. The way this AutoCAD is set up, it's set up hopefully with layers that you can turn on and off, so you can actually avoid, or not avoid, but learn to lay things out thoughtfully in a program that you can understand and control. Like CAD, you can now then of course go to home, do a grid, and that idea of grabbing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hitting an escape, cancel, and then once again grid 1, 2, 3, hitting an escape, being able to modify the grid, the properties, that one there, that one should be A. I'm not sure if this automatically does that one, but element properties should now be B. And then finally element properties here should be C. So you now have identified your entire grid. You don't necessarily need nor want what's underneath there, that grid anymore, so you do VV, imported categories, and you turn off that grid, and you have just your base grid here. Now from there, you don't need to go and pull up the columns, because your columns should be all there, because you can go to column here, pick a general type. We're going to go with a pretty basic one here for now. Grabbing on the grids is probably the most useful thing to do. It's going to go ahead and Remember, you're at level 1 with CAD Link, and so that might not be actually what you want to do. You want to get your columns going down. So if you go to level 2, right, and you may or may not see that here as you get to level 1 or level 1 with CAD Link, what you can do at one point, you can grab all these things, and you may need to change once you do that. There is something called propagate, so you can push all these things out. Or if you go to level 2, you should be able to go to level 2 and see the grid by going VV, controlling annotation categories. Grid should be on there. And that's one I don't say. There it is. There's the grid. And so when you go about now putting in your columns, we're going to place the columns on grids. Finish your selection. You go to the analytical, hopefully view, and you see those columns laid out. Next step, of course, is to go through, and perhaps even here in VV, you can go VV here, go back to your imported categories, and realize maybe you just want the girder exteriors to be seen. And from here, it is possible, if these things are done correctly, it is possible for you now to go through and do the beam. You want to make sure that when you do, we'll just use what's given for now. We should pre-calculate. We want these to be at level 2. You want to think about them being girders, and you can select them from this view. Again, you've laid them on the ground more or less in your AutoCAD. And so they've done that, and you can then go back to this, escape. Those are your exterior. Your interior might be a little bit deeper. VV, go to imported categories, girder interior. Once again, this time you can change the element type to put something perhaps deeper. That's because the interior are going to carry more load. Once again, you can select. You got your interior girders done. You can then, once again, hopefully that was laid out. These were laid out to be, you're hitting a hold to control here. Check your element properties that they indeed are going on structural usage. You would like those all to go in girder. It's going to make things better later to put everything on the right type of layer. So going back right away, element properties, girder, element properties, girder. Alright, next step, you've gone through that. I'm going to check the timing on this here. We are just short of 6 minutes, so we can go now to VV, escape VV, go to your imported categories. Maybe you now want the interior joists, not anything else. In this case, we're going to go ahead, VV. If we look at joist exterior, and exterior in these cases, we talked about them being actually joists that also tie the members together. So I'm going to go and see how my time is here. We're going to run out, but I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, at this point in time, I'm going to grab another very, very deep member here, and then go ahead and call those, we'll call those joists, and we're going to select them. 1, 2, 3, and that should mean they'll tie into the columns. A lot of these things are set up on settings. There you go. We'll end that. We'll do this and one other one. You're almost ready to put the joist and then the floor. Thanks for listening.